HTML canvas is a cool little element which allows you to draw on your web page using JavaScript. In this video, I'll be covering some of the basics. What can you do with the canvas element, and then how to draw lines, shapes, circles, things like that. So let's dive right in. What can you do with the canvas element? As I said earlier, you can draw shapes onto your web page. You can animate them. You can make little games. In fact, I'm actually building my aim trainer using HTML canvas. I'm using it so you can interact, you can click on it, and you can hover over elements. So that's pretty cool there. You can even create your own data visualizations with charts, and you can even create your own drawing tool similar to that of Microsoft Paint. Those are just a few things you can do with Canvas. So let's get in, set it up, and let's start drawing. To set it up, we only need a HTML file and a JavaScript file. CSS can cause a few issues with the canvas, just be aware of it. Canvas element, you need to set the height and width within the element itself. If you do this via CSS, it can cause some distortion when you're drawing. So just be aware of that now. So to set it up, we want to have our little HTML file. We're just going to make this really simple. Canvas. And we're going to add the canvas element here. Give it an ID so we can target it with JavaScript. I'm going to call this my canvas. We set the height. I'm just going to do some rounded numbers like 500 pixels, and the width, I'm going to do the same, 500 pixels. And I'm going to add in a little style tag just so you can see where it is on the page. I'll give it a border of 1 pixel, solid red. We also need to add the script, so we can use JavaScript, script, source, and I've called my file, I am on a US keyboard for some reason. There we go. Script, and we'll just add index.js. Great. So we got our HTML set up. Now we can start drawing using JavaScript. First, we'll target the canvas. Then we need to create what's called a drawing object. This is really simple. This allows us to draw on the canvas, and we use a method called getContext. We use 2D here. There is a 3D option called WebGL, but I won't be covering that right now. So let's create our canvas and drawing object. CTX is kind of the norm of what you call the context. So you'll probably see that around when you're Googling about canvas. Let's draw some lines, the simplest to start with. So draw lines. There's kind of 3 parts to this. You start the drawing, you do the drawing, and then you end the drawing. So we use the context, we say begin path. This initiates the drawing, and then at the end we do context.close path, and this finishes the drawing. It's kind of like lifting your pen off the paper, for instance. So to begin the path, we need to put our pen down somewhere, and we use context.move to, and this is where we're going to move our pen to. So it uses an XY coordinate system. So X obviously in this axis and Y down here. We start off in the top left, so this is 0, 0. In our case, I've done a 500 square canvas, so it'll be 0, 0, 500, 0, 500, 500, and 0, 500. So we'll just start at the top left. And then to draw a line, there is a method called line2. This just draws a straight line. So we've got our pen at the top left. Let's draw a straight line down to the bottom right. As I said, my canvas is 500 by 500, so this is bottom right. But nothing is showing up. That's because we have to say we want to draw a line. And that is just context.stroke. And we got our line. Nice. Modify the stroke a little bit if we really want to. So we can say context.line width. We can change the width. We'll just increase it to 10. Nice and thick there. We can also say dot stroke style. And we'll make it blue, for instance. And we can change the color. Very nice. We can draw multiple lines within the same drawing, or we can create a new drawing. So if we do it within the same drawing, it will just continue. So you're not lifting your pen off the page. if we do it with the new drawing, you can set a new place to where you want to put the pen. So for instance, if I want to go up to the middle now, ctx dot line 2, say if I want to go over to this stage, it will be 500, because that's the full x value, and I'll go 250 to the middle of the y, and we've got this line going up here. Then if I want to go all the way back across, we can do that as well. ctx dot line 2, 0 because it's at the start of the x, and 250 because I want it as a straight line. Now we've got our little drawing. If I just copy this quickly, I can do another drawing. Need begin path. So let's start at the end. Get rid of all of these for now, and we're going to go down to the bottom. And see, we've got a new line. Let's just change the color as well so we can tell that it's different. Let's go with green. So now we've got a new line on top of the other ones. And we can create shapes doing this if we want. We could create a triangle using the line 2. We could do either method. So we'll create a triangle with the green shape for now. So we'll go ctx dot line 2. We'll go 500 to 500. And then we'll go back to the top of ctx dot line 2. 500, 0, and we've created a little triangle there. But there's some key methods for drawing shapes such as rectangle and circle. But first, I want to clear my canvas. I want to start afresh, and that's got a built-in method as well. So to clear the canvas, we do ctx.clear_rect. This just clears the canvas. We can say where we want to clear. So we do the full canvas is 0, 0, so the top, and then we do canvas.height, canvas.width, and then canvas.height. And this clears the canvas to allow us to start drawing again. So if I was to give an example, in my aim trainer 1, every time I click the ball here, I'm actually clearing the canvas and redrawing the ball in a random location. That's just a little example of why you might do that. I do it in a function, because otherwise the same ball would appear and I would just be drawing new balls. So let's draw a rectangle first, which is kind of, there's a clear rect, so a method for drawing a rectangle is just rect. So we begin the path, and we close the path. And we use the method rect. So we say, where do we want to start? We'll start kind of a little bit in compared to the top left, just so you can see the difference. And we'll make this 200 pixels wide and 100 pixels deep. Again, nothing is showing because we need to do the dot stroke. But there's also another method we can use actually. So there's our rectangle. But if we don't use stroke, we can actually use ctx.fill, and this will create a solid shape for us. Let's put this down a little bit, make it more obvious that it is a rectangle. There we go, nice. And then let's just clear it again, and we'll draw a circle. Circle, again, has its own built-in method. I'm just going to copy this down and get rid of rect. So a circle uses what's called an arc, ctx.arc. You have your x and y, which is your middle point of the circle. So we'll do 250, 250, so that's going to be the center. Then we have the radius of the circle. So remember, two radius is how wide it's going to be. So if we do 250, it's going to fill the entire canvas right now. And you have the start angle. For a circle, you want it 0. The end angle, if you remember from maths, is 2 times math pi. Math pi. And then we've got our circle, nice and big in the canvas. And obviously you can change the radius. 150, for instance, makes it smaller. You can change where you want to start it from. If you want to off-center it slightly, you can do that. You can also, rather than do fill, you can do stroke, ctx dot stroke. You don't have to do a full circle. With an arc, you could do half a circle, you could make it a moon shape, whatever you would like. So let's try and do a semicircle. So rather than 2 pi, it's just going to be pi. And let's comment this one out. So we've got our half circles, you got 0 all the way down to pi. And we can make this go from math pi here to 2 times math pi. We can make a nice little shape here, nice little wave. And we'll just increase this to 300, 300. Nope, that should still be 200. Put this down to 100. There we go. And we got a nice little wave. Looks pretty good. So if we used fill instead here, you'd create the half circle. Let's clear the canvas one more time. I just want to quickly show you that you can actually draw text using the canvas as well. So you do CTX again, we're beginning the path. And we'll close it. And we want ctx.font equal however big we want it, 30 pixels maybe, Arial. And then we can either do fill or stroke again, but slightly different syntax. So fill text, and you give it the text hello, where you're starting it. So we'll do 250, 250. Slightly off center there, because it's starting in the middle and then writing says center point. So you could move this back slightly if you really wanted to, and just play around with how to center it. So rather than fill, we could also do stroke, which looks a little bit strange because it's quite close together. Let's make this 100 pixels. Let's just swap these around so the black comes on top. Looks very nice there. So if you wanted like just the outline, you would do ctx.fill style equals white, because I've got a white background, and there we've got just the background stroke, which is pretty cool. And that is a basic introduction into HTML Canvas. If you want more practice, then please try and draw these shapes that are appearing on your screen now using the skills that you've learned today. Next time, I'll be going over how to create a whiteboard using HTML Canvas. So that will be using interactions with the canvas. So make sure you subscribe so you do not miss that video. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll catch you later.